Welcome to Verbal Pig Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Put out a report based on percentages of what's important to Americans. And I always ask myself, when they do these polls, who are they actually talking to? I haven't been polled. I pay taxes. I talk to a lot of my friends, a lot of my black friends, and all of us have never been polled. When they say the American people, who are you talking about? Within my whole lifespan, I was never questioned on my beliefs about issues concerning America. But is that done purposely? Is that done so I don't feel like I'm an American, so I don't, feel like I'm a part of this thing? So I don't get the questions, or they don't want to know my take on serious issues that are facing this country. Well, let's get into some of the percentages on the serious issues that is facing this country at the present moment, according to the quote-unquote Americans that they've asked, because I didn't get asked. I don't know what Americans they're asking, but 30%, which was number one, was 30% the economy. Money. In a capitalistic society, money is the number one concern in America. Number two, 18%, was terrorists. Americans are more worried about terrorists, which placed terrorism at number two. Now, mind you, we're at number two, and the minorities in this country, or what they call African Americans, we would agree. Yeah, money is number one in this country. Then we also would agree that terrorism is a big problem. Coming in at number three was education, which was at 8%. And once again, yeah, you can agree, okay, education is important. It's fine. Coming in at number four, in fourth place, was race relations at 6%. And I'm like, whoa. Race relations mean the relationship between blacks and whites or non-whites in America is number four. See, black people, you're thinking that, yeah, the economy is number one, but they're not talking about your economy. Terrorism is number two, but they're not talking about how you feel about terrorism, because you're number four that we have to get to talk about your personal issues. Why is that? Because every 25 years, the Voting Rights Act has to be approved and passed. Now, what other Americans have to renew their voting rights every 25 years? Do you feel a part of? Race relations, number 4. Not first. how are you gonna ever accomplish a unity or a unification of wealth in America with poor race relations? Terrorism. Okay. Smoking stuff like terrorism, number 2. Let's go to education. Number 3. How are you ever gonna properly educate the American citizens when there's racism in the educational system? How can you meaning you can't get the truth out to the people if you have a negative distracting from the positive. It weakens the positive. Christopher Columbus discovered America. Find out that's not to be true. What about the Olmecs in Mexico? We don't learn that in school. What? You don't learn about the Olmecs in school? Okay. Well, what about the relationship between the Dead Sea Scrolls, not the Dead Sea Scroll, but the Book of the Dead, the Egyptians, and the Bible? You don't learn that in your classes? They just opened up a African American museum in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to interview someone who recently just came back from that museum. We're going to talk about it. Now, will that vital information be placed in public school books so black kids can learn their self-worth and learn about themselves and all the contributions that they've made in America, and more so than just the month of February, year round, where other children can understand what black achievement is, because they will start to respect black people and respect their forefathers. What's so wrong about that? You know, are we all equal? You know, you hear people always like to use that phrase, we're all equal, we all bleed the same blood. Then you go out on a false narrative and you wonder why you can drive through different parts or different sections of any city and see poverty and see wealth. Because one, the race relations is bad. And when you have a bad race relations, somebody's getting duped. Somebody's getting not getting a proper education. I guess that's what I'm saying. Someone is not getting a proper education based on the fact that you have the evidence when you ask a white student about black achievement in America, and they look at you like, who built what, who did what? Now, you're going to start having schools that's going to propose less homework. You know, that's the Charlie Brown kick. When you're getting ready to kick the ball through the goal post and somebody moves it. That's what's getting ready to take place. We're thriving on getting information into the truths of what actually took place and what you can bag up through anthropology and archaeology, and you have documented evidence, and you have books that were written dating back 600, 700, 1,000, 1,200 years ago to prove the fact. But that would have been good, and we'd appreciate that information. Let's say 20, 30, 10 years ago, but we're cutting back on homework and that curriculum. So we only gonna stick with the basic math and science. We're gonna dab chemistry, biology, and whatnot, engineering and graphics and things of that nature. History, we kind of dialing back on that right now. So there's no need to force the issue. And if you do force the issue, we'll make history an elective, and you can choose to study history. But we'll teach our children, and these are non-minorities. We'll teach our children through movies and, outside of school, so we can give them the narrative we want them to have. Because in their mindset, hey, if you tell a lie enough times, people will begin to believe it. So we want to stick with that narrative in their mindset. So don't bother us with proving your facts on the great African civilization or the Moors and the contributions and all of that. We're not into that. Matter of fact, the truth of the matter is, they just don't want their children to learn facts about what actually took place, because it would contradict all the lies that was told. I mean, that's a rock. That's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, man, you have to push back the truth in order for fabrication to shine. Hey, that's a hell of a thing. So basically, money is number one in America. And I can understand that in a capitalistic society, you can't get a piece of gum without money. Going to a store, you can't get water without money. You're going to pay a water bill. You're going to go into the store and if you want some good drinking water, you purchasing that. So, yeah, money is number one. But what I'm saying is, that should be a concern of all Americans. It should be no separation where you separate money and race relations. Race relations shouldn't even be on the survey. Should be nothing called improving race relations. That should be automatic. Shouldn't be a race relation problem in a capitalistic society. That's sick. That is sick. Sickening. Here you're going to have a race relation problem in a capitalistic society, when in a capitalistic society, green should rule, because money rules, because money is always number one. You mean to tell me I'm black and the goal is to keep the capital from me, but what's the purpose of keeping capital, or keeping or dumbing down, or not giving a proper education to a black community? Or what's the purpose of freeing black people, then discriminating against them during the housing, and then you wanna discriminate against black people and where they can stay, relegate them to a ghetto. Then you want to miseducate them. Then you want to discriminate against us. And then you want to say you need money to survive in a capitalistic society. Where's your money? That's crazy. That is stone cold crazy. Well, what's the purpose of that? I mean, who benefits from black inferiority? See, in some sick minds, they believe that they believe in the opposite theory. If I keep a certain percentage of a certain race impoverished, that means that will eventually rise in my wealth for as the opposite race. They call them that. I forgot what law that is, but it's like you will hear Brother Farrakhan talk about the mountains. However far you drill down in the ground and explode something, then that there go, man. How far you drill down and explode something, then that's how high it will rise above the surface. They base it on that theory. How impoverished we keep a certain race down, that means how greater our wealth will be. And that doesn't work. They'll see in time. Because everyone deserves an opportunity to know and to have justice under the law of God. So, yeah, if you value yourself and you value your creator and you thank God for him creating you to share in this wonderful planet, on this wonderful planet, then of course you're gonna fight, you're gonna talk about things, or you're gonna want things to be upright. You're gonna want things to be right and exact. Is what I'm saying. You're gonna fight, you're gonna talk, you're gonna stand for what's right concerning you and yours, because if you lay down, then you justifying you surrendering, and now you become a prisoner of war, a captive, because you didn't have a voice. You didn't speak out. The first thing they'll say was, "This been going on for such and such amount of time, and why haven't you said anything or done anything to change the reality, to try to make it right? If it was wrong, then why you not doing your due diligence and trying to correct the problem, make the problem right?" Would be the question. And if you didn't do anything, then what would be your response? I was going along to get along. I was hoping one day they would see me as their equal. I was hoping one day they would accept me. I was hoping one day I can vote right in. When they tell you purposely you got to choose between the lesser of two evils, that's on purpose. Well, you can't say, "Well, I voted for so-and-so. That's the lesser of two evils. They both are evil." You just voted for what you perceive to be the lesser of the two. So we have to wake up and attack this thing head on with truth, not with violence. Violence, conquering things with violence or gaining territory or land through violence, that's played out. That's not the way to do things in this day and time. When education and knowledge is present, then you fight with education and knowledge. Verbal Pick Radio. We out. Y'all check me out. cdbaby.com/Coleblack, COLBLAC. Check out my book, Consequence, by Vince Cole Muhammad. And we out.